No one is ever going to be allowed to run this experiment again. In the year 2000, 3 American researchers walked into the state institutions of Bucharest. They enrolled 136 infants and toddlers, and then they let a lottery decide which of them would move into a family and which of them would stay exactly where they were. Then they followed both groups for the next 16 years. No ethics board on Earth would approve this today. And that's exactly why it gave us the clearest evidence we have on how fragile the human brain really is in its very first years of life. By the end of this video, you'll understand why one single number, 24 months, changed how the entire world thinks about early childhood. This story starts with a decree. In 1966, Romania's leader, Nicolae Ceausescu, wanted to force the country's population to grow. So he banned abortion. He banned birth control. The decree was called Decree 770. Families who couldn't feed or care for another child were forced to have them anyway, and most of them handed those children over to the state. By the time the regime collapsed in 1989, roughly 170,000 children were being raised in government institutions. These children were fed. They were vaccinated. Their laundry was clean. But one caregiver was often responsible for 10, sometimes 20 infants, which meant that when a baby cried, there was almost nobody left to pick them up, to look after them, to actually meet their eyes. In 2000, Charles Nelson, Nathan Fox, and Charles Zena walked into one of those institutions and launched the Bucharest Early Intervention Project. They split 136 children in 2 by lottery. Half would be placed with a foster family. Half would remain in the institution exactly as before. It remains the only randomized trial ever run comparing institutional care with family care. But there was an uncomfortable question underneath it all. Who actually said yes on behalf of these children? The state was already their legal guardian. The researchers themselves debated that question openly while the study was still running. Years later, bioethicists picked the same question back up. It's one of the most contested consent cases in the history of science. For years, these children wore EEG caps. Their brains were scanned with MRI. They took IQ tests. And the results startled even the researchers who ran them. The children raised in institutions had smaller skulls, less gray matter, shorter telomeres, the caps on our chromosomes that shrink as cells age, as if their bodies had already started aging early. Their average IQ scores were significantly lower too. Same country, same year, a similar genetic pool. The only real difference between the two groups was who had held them in the first months of their lives. But the single most striking finding was one number, 24 months. Children placed with a foster family before their second birthday showed brain electrical activity that, over the years, came close to children who'd never been institutionalized at all. Children placed after age 2 showed far more limited recovery, and some of that damage never fully closed. A human brain forms millions of new connections every second in its earliest years. But that window doesn't stay open forever. And for the first time, researchers could show, with actual numbers, exactly when it starts to close. Researchers also noticed something strange in the institutionalized children. These kids would run up and hug a complete stranger within seconds of meeting them. At first glance, it looks sweet, even affectionate. But this is called indiscriminate friendliness, and it isn't a sign of a healthy attachment. It's the opposite. It's the desperate strategy of a brain that never learned that any single adult could be trusted to reliably show up. Once children moved into foster care, this behavior faded, and secure attachment rose sharply. But for the children who stayed institutionalized, the picture stayed different. By 4.5 years old, their rate of psychiatric diagnoses was far higher than children raised in families. None of this was actually new. Back in 1945, psychoanalyst René Spitz published a startling observation. Infants in orphanages were getting enough food and enough medical care, but almost no one ever picked them up. Almost no one ever touched them. And some of these infants lost their health, even their lives, for no medical reason anyone could find. Spitz called it hospitalism. 60 years later, Bucharest proved that same old observation with laboratory precision. The human brain doesn't grow on calories alone. It grows on touch. It grows on eye contact. It grows on one familiar, reliable face. As the findings were published, the world slowly started to move. In 2004, Romania banned placing children under 2 into institutions, except in cases of severe disability. In 2019, the United Nations General Assembly passed a resolution signed by every single member state, urging a global shift away from institutional care and toward family-based care instead. Most of the wards in Bucharest have since emptied out, closed down, or been completely transformed. But this isn't a finished story. According to UNICEF, at least 2.7 million children are still growing up in institutions right now around the world, and experts believe the real number is likely even higher. Those wards in Bucharest are mostly empty today, but what was learned inside them hasn't gone anywhere. The first 24 months of a human life lay the foundation for a brain you will carry for the rest of your life. Food, vaccines, clean sheets, all of that is enough to survive. But to actually grow, what a baby needed was something far simpler: to be picked up regularly, to meet someone's eyes, to know that somebody was going to come. Maybe the real question this experiment was asking was never really about science at all. Maybe the question was always this: who held you when you were a baby?